start by introducing ourselves. I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Kate.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Gina.
And I'm Bridget.
And we're going to be discussing our research project of how academic performance of college students correlates to their financial well-being. So we're going to start with the brief introduction, followed by the literature review, and then Alyssa is going to talk about our hypotheses. And then we'll get into our variables and survey plan of how we're going to measure and gather our information. And then to conclude with what's to follow after we have our information.
So starting with the introduction, so the average college student's GPA is a 3.28, and that's from the National Center for Educational Statistics. And 53% of college students feel that they are prepared to manage their money, and that is from Everfee, which did a survey with 30,000 students over all the countries, and this is what they came up with. And then just a quick question for everyone, have you guys ever treated yourself when you did well in like a test, like you went to Target, got Starbucks? So all of us decided that we've done that too, and this is kind of why we wanted to talk about this topic today, because we thought like a lot of college students would do that, and we also talked about how even if we don't do well, we also like fill that void and still do it to make us feel better. And now Kate's gonna do the literature review.
So we began to dig into different research that had already been done on topics surrounding academic performance and financial literacy and financial well-being. And we found that there had been a lot of research done, but it either came up with mixed results or didn't necessarily talk about like academic performance and financial well-being being linked. So we found that Chan and their colleagues said that financial habits and spending patterns can directly affect the financial well-being of a college student, but this didn't necessarily take into account the GPA and the financial well-being together. Lone found that individuals who are financially more literate and spend their money more wisely for food and prepare for future financial needs, that they have higher financial well-being. And then Bruggen and their colleagues found that individuals with higher education levels tended to have increased financial well-being. Conversely, Xiao and their colleagues found that class standing had a positive association with risky behaviors with credit cards, such as not paying your credit card off, using credit cards more than a few times a week, having high credit card balances, maxing out on credit card limits, sorts of things like that. And they found that students that were in higher levels of college had more association, the positive associations with class standing and the risky behaviors than lower level students did. And then a study by Robb and Sharp performed with 6,520 college students found that even with an increased level of financial knowledge, students had higher credit card balances. But again, this did not take into account their financial well-being, which would have an impact on their credit card balances and their spending habits.
So now onto our hypothesis development. We wanted to focus on the idea of how GPA and financial literacy affect one's financial well-being. And going through our other research that we have gone through, there have been previous studies that show relations between financial trouble and shopping inappropriately. And so then we were able to see how there's possibly a correlation between college students performing well academically and having an increased financial well-being. We also found a correlation between financial literacy and financial well-being. As Kate said in the literature review, there is a study from Bruggen that suggests that individuals with higher education levels tend to have increased financial well-being. So having higher education and performing well increases financial literacy. So students who are in higher education and taking more courses, they are not only gaining the knowledge, whether it be in a finance class or not, they're still gaining knowledge, gaining maturity that is leading them to having a higher financial literacy, which is directly correlating to that financial well-being. And then a study by Journal of Financial Services Marketing found that individuals who are financially more literate spend their money more wisely and prepare for future financial needs, which improves their financial well-being. So we will have Bridget talking about our survey plan and how we plan to measure financial literacy and how we plan to see a direct correlation between that financial literacy increasing and that financial correlating to the financial well-being. So then our hypotheses that we have come up with are if students earn a better GPA, they will have increased financial well-being. And secondly, if students increase their financial literacy, then their financial well-being increases as well.
So getting into the survey plan, we have two variables, independent and dependent. Our independent variables are GPA, so your grade point average in college students, and their financial literacy. And financial literacy more in depth is like your skills and knowledge regarding making decisions on how you spend your money. And then our dependent variable is your financial well-being. So overall, we're figuring out how your financial well-being depends on your GPA and your financial literacy.
Okay, so our survey plan, so throughout our survey, we're using a GPA scale that ranges from 0 to 4.0. We're going to use the Likert scale, which measures intensity of agreeing to disagree. We're using multiple choice questions. Some of our questions come from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau financial well-being quiz, and others come from the Wall Street Journal's financial literacy quiz. So throughout our survey, it begins with an intro and our survey consent, and as you click onto the next screen, that's you consenting, like we can use your data. And then it takes you through our main block, which is 10 questions long, and 4 of those are using the Likert scale. And within those 4, there's 23 different statements. And then we have 5 multiple choice questions and 1 text entry question. And then the remaining 6 are demographics. So some of our example survey questions, the Likert scale ones kind of look like this. How well does this statement describe you or your situation? I can handle a major expense, range to I'm concerned I don't have money. And then what describes your situation? You always struggle to pay to you never struggle to pay. And then some more that are multiple choice or text entry. So which the following statement is true? And this one came from the Wall Street Journal. It's about your 401k. And then have you taken a financial course, and then how many? So we're kind of interested to see like, oh, if you've taken one, will you get this question right from the financial, like how is it retaining your information? And then our GPA scale, we decided to do it in a multiple choice question, so we're kind of grouping those people into that. And then our survey plan, so our population is young adult consumers, and we're looking at a sample of college students. Our goal is 300, and according to College Ranker, 18 to 24-year-olds is the college student range, so we predict that there will be some outliers. I started college at 17, so there could be other people like that too, but that's the main age range we're going to look at. And then because our survey is only 16 questions, 10 of those being our main block, it should take around 5 to 7 minutes to complete. Like the last group said, that's like the optimal range, so we're hoping to see people will actually complete our entire survey. And then recruitment, so 300 is a lot of people, but there's 5 of us, so hopefully between the 5 of us, we will contact people via email, tags, social media, and word of mouth through our own extracurriculars, sports, and our friends' sports, extracurriculars, courses, etc. So now I'm passing it to Kate.
So we've just taken you through our introduction, a little bit of our literature review, our hypotheses and development of them, and our variables, and Bridget went over our survey plan. So we're really looking forward to seeing what we come up with, as in like data and analyzing it and coming back and presenting it to you guys later in the semester. Does anyone have any questions?